Seriously, how tasty does that look?
Welcome back everyone. In this video we're going to be making some steak tacos and we're going to be using the Weber kettle. So if you've got a favourite steak cut that you want to use for this, by all means go ahead. Something like rump steak, porterhouse, ribeye are all great cuts for steak tacos. Today we're going to be using some flank steak. Now flank steak is an awesome cut. It's got an awesome taste and texture to it, but it is relatively lean, so we don't want to overcook it. We're going to be going for a medium rare doneness today, but we're going to get started by trimming it up. So as you can see, the grain of the meat is running this way. So when we slice it, pretty straightforward. We're just going to be slicing against it. So we're going to get started by trimming off any excess fat. Any silver skin like this as well. I'm also just going to tidy up any sort of thin edges that would potentially just burn. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. And don't throw away any of your trimmings. You can always mince that up and it makes great burger mince. So now we're all trimmed up, we're going to season our steak. Now if you've got a favourite beef rub, go ahead and use that. I want some nice Tex-Mex flavour in there. So we're going to lay down some of our steak shooter first, and then we're going to top it off with some Heavenly Hell Loco. So I've chosen to trim and season our steak before we set our barbecue up, just because it's going to allow our steak to come up to room temperature, which is going to provide a much more even cook. So now our steak's sorted, let's set this barbecue up. So we can remove our lid, our cooking grate and our kettle crown. We'll make sure our bottom vent's opened up. We'll get a couple of firelighters started, and then we'll get a full charcoal chimney worth of lump charcoal on. So we've got about 15 minutes until our charcoal is going to be ready. And if you want to use briquettes, that's fine, go ahead and do that. But when it's ready, we're going to be dumping it in our kettle crown. Now, if you wanted to use your 2 charcoal baskets in the middle of your Weber, go ahead and do that. But a kettle crown, we're going to use it upside down. We're going to fill it up, and that's just going to get us a little bit closer to the cooking grate. As you can see, the kettle crown sits a little bit higher than the charcoal baskets. We're going to get a little bit of a better sear, and it generally holds the heat in a little bit better. So if you wanted to check out a kettle crown, I'll put a link down in the description where I picked this one up from. Obviously perfect for your chicken wings. I use it all the time, and it's one of my favorite Weber accessories. And if you're wondering what charcoal we're using, we've been using the B&B lump charcoal lately. I've used so many different brands of charcoal over the years, and by far the B&B stuff has been the most impressive. It's easy to light, it burns for ages, it's clean burning, and the chunk size is absolutely crazy. I'll put a couple of links down in the description for some stockists around Australia if you did want to check the B&B charcoal out. But for now, we'll be back when this charcoal's ready and we're ready to get this steak on. All right, so our charcoal's ready. So whatever barbecue you're using, set it up for direct grilling. Now this is quite a thin steak, so I'm not going to reverse sear it. We're just going to use the 30-second flip method. So obviously we'll flip it every 30 seconds, and I'm going to keep doing that until we hit an internal temperature of 125 degrees Fahrenheit or 52 degrees Celsius. So let's set the rest of this barbecue up and get our steak on. So we'll get some high heat gloves on, take our charcoal chimney out, put our kettle crown in upside down, and get our charcoal in. Now we can get our cooking grate on and our steak. Now I want to keep that steak moving around just so it gets a nice even sear and it doesn't stick to our cooking grate. All right, so as one side is thinner than the other, I've just offset our kettle crown because this end was a little bit behind where this end was, so pretty much right on our target there. So what we can do now is chuck our steak in a tray and let it rest. Right, so that was about a 12-minute cook, and that time's going to vary depending on the thickness of your steak. And we're going to let that rest for about 10 to 15 minutes. That's a really important step as it allows all those juices in the steak to really relax back throughout the whole cut. If we were to just cut that steak open straight away, all of those juices would just pour out of it, and it wouldn't be a very pleasant eating experience. So while our steak's resting, we're going to get some toppings sorted for these tacos. So in a bowl, I'm going to put some finely chopped tomatoes, the same amount of white onion. And this is optional, but I'm going to throw some red chilli in there, pinch of finely chopped parsley, juice of half a lime, some pepper and salt, and then we'll just give it a good mix. Now we can put that aside. All right, and for a quick taco sauce, in a food processor or blender, we're going to go half a ripe avocado, and we're going to put in a few good tablespoons of pickled jalapenos. We're also going to go about 2 tablespoons of the pickled jalapeno juice. Now this is going to be spicy, so if you didn't want it overly spicy, substitute the jalapeno juice for water and then the juice of half a lime. Then we can blend that all up. Now you want that to be a nice sauce consistency. If it's too thick, add a bit of water. If it's too thin, add some more avocado. And while our steak's still resting, we can get a wire brush and just quickly give our cooking grate a clean. And then we've got a nice white corn tortilla. We're just going to toast that. So our steak's had a nice little rest now. We're going to get it out. We're going to slice it nice and thin against the grain. Then we're going to build these tacos. Look at that. Beautiful. Now that's a beautiful looking bit of steak. I'm going to try it on its own first. Oh, super tender. That just pulled apart with ease. Got a good sear on the outside. It's still super tender and moist on the inside. Let's build these tacos. Right, so we've got our beautiful tortilla. Gonna lay down some of this steak. Gonna lay down some of our beautiful taco sauce and then some of our fresh salsa. Seriously, how tasty does that look? Let's eat. Oh, that is so good. That beautiful steak, it's so fresh and zingy. Got a beautiful spice kick. Such a good combo. Make sure you try that yourself. By all means, add your own toppings to it. This is just what I like. So that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.